What's up everyone, it's Jeremiah with ADF Sprinters. Today we're going to go through our 2021 Metris Anacapa and comparing it to a 1999 VW EuroVan with conversion by Winnebago. This van really embraces the classic VW Westfalia design. The layout, features, overall kind of flow of this van is going to be identical to almost anything you can see, dating all the way back to like 1950s, 57-ish. So it's a really classic design. You're going to see these in all the beach towns all over the United States. They're just a really packed in camper van for its smaller size. It's got a lot of technology, a lot of new stuff in here. So we really want to take all of like the cool features of this van and what makes them so popular and roll them into a more modern take with our Metris Anacapa. So the Metris Anacapa is a design we created in 2019. This van takes a lot of the cool features of the VW EuroVan, kind of full camper edition, and we've really modernized it and put our own spin on it, and we've taken a lot of the experiences from our many years of camper van building. One of the main benefits of going to our new Anacapa is really the mix of new modern technologies. So that's gonna be safety features, drivability, comfort systems of the van itself, as well as new and updated appliances, sinks, faucets, cooktops, refrigerators, battery technology, things like that are all updated and the most up-to-date systems for this Metris Anacapa. Looking at both the old Westfalia style camper and the Metris Anacapa, we're gonna have a bed up top as well as a bed down low. Looking at the old style EuroVan, this top bunk is multiple panels. So if I want to stand up and have more space in here, I need to actually lift these panels out of place and move them back to make room to stand up and have room to walk around the van. Cooler features of the top of the Metris Anacapa is this one-piece bed platform. So this platform is all a single piece, there's no joints, there's no seams, and it's on a hinged mechanism, so when I want to stand up in here, all I do is press that bed. It's gonna hinge up, I can stand up and move about my interior without fussing with individual bed platform panels. Looking at the lower bunk, both the EuroVan and the Anacapa are gonna have a 2-passenger bench seat. The one on the EuroVan is gonna be a little more manual. So I have a big lever down here. That's gonna allow me to slide this seat forward, and then I can pull this up, drop it down, and I have this kind of floating cushion, which I can use to set up the lower bed. I'll push this into place, and now my lower bed is set up. One thing you'll notice is this extra cushion doesn't have all that much thickness, and the back half of the bed is directly on top of a solid surface. So what that means is when I'm in this bed, I only have about 2 inches of foam giving me support. So it's not nearly as comfortable as a memory foam topped bed. A cool feature of the lower bunk of the Metris Anacapa is a power seat base. So we have 2 switches that control the forward back motion as well as the recline of this lower bunk. So what we'll do is we'll slide this chair forward. We're gonna recline that back all the way down. And I have a memory foam topped surface to lay on for a nice comfortable bed down low. Both of these mid-sized camper vans have full kitchens inside the van. The biggest difference you're gonna see is really in the appliances and how they operate. Starting with the refrigerator, in this old EuroVan here, we have what's called a 3-way refrigerator. It's gonna work off propane, 12-volt power, or 110 power. Really, this fridge is designed only to work off propane. These are notorious for kind of having propane leaks. If the van's not perfectly level, it's not gonna work out so well. Looking at the cooktop, we have this cool cover that pops up. There's gas shocks to kind of hold this up. This cooktop has got a cover. It goes up here and then goes all the way up to the top. So this makes like a full-on backsplash to protect the backside of any kind of grease or smoke or anything that might come up and kind of melt so this plastic up here. One of the biggest updates of the Metris Anacapa versus the old style EuroVan is really just the modern take on the new appliances. So we have more modern stainless steel cooktop as well as a 0 radius bar type sink. We have a 12-volt refrigerator which works off the battery and actually stays cold off the battery. So no more leveling the van out for the propane system or being forced to plug into shoreline power. On the Metris Anacapa, we chose to adapt the propane system to run off the 1-pound disposable bottles. Now, this is a much safer way to do propane rather than having a big tank up underneath the van, which has to be recertified, can go bad, can have large leaks and leak large amounts of propane into the van. The older style EuroVans have a much larger propane system built in underneath the van. While this does give you a lot more capacity for propane, there's also a lot of concerns with this. Mainly, the tanks go out of certification every few years, so you'll have to go through and have this either recertified or replaced. And then also, you need to go find a place to fill them. So you have to go to a gas station that has a propane fill center. You have to go to different areas that might fill this tank. Not all of them will, especially if there's any exposed rust on the surface of this tank. Most places will not fill that. Another issue here is if there's ever a leak in the system, there's a lot more propane to physically leak out of there. So you'll actually hear in the background there's a propane alarm going off in this van because there's a small propane leak somewhere in the system that we haven't yet to find. So really the main feature that makes these mid-sized camper vans, what we know and love, is that pop top. So on this Westfalia, we have kind of like a seatbelt buckle right in the middle, so super old school there. Then I have 2 latches on either side. So I need to hold both those latches and then try to push this top up at the same time, which unless you have 3 arms, it's a little bit more tricky. So I can try to unlatch this and maybe stand up at the top. The older top, it's not gonna have the same insulation values as the new top. You might have a little more wind flutter in the fabric of the top just because those shocks are a little worn out. There's not as much tension on that fabric. One of the main differences between the pop top itself is we have a little more modern canvas technology. So canvas is a little bit thicker, it's a little more durable. These gas struts actually provide a lot more lifting power for that top. And what that does is it pulls this fabric nice and tight. So you're not gonna have nearly as much impact from wind or weather, kind of shaking the sides of this fabric and keeping you up at night. One major difference between our modern Metris Anacapa and the little bit older Euro camper van is really the exterior appearances. So moving back, you'll notice lots of different vents and different things along the side of the van, which really give away your stealth capabilities when camping in this van on maybe the side of the road or on a long road trip at night. All this is really unsightly stuff that goes on the side of the van, which really we do not need on the Metris Anacapa because of the more modern technology that goes into it. With the Metris Anacapa, you'll notice there's a lot more sleek design overall. So that's going to be more beneficial for fuel efficiency and overall kind of styling of the van. And we try to build on those cues when we design the exterior of the van with what hookups we have outside. We have our solar power hookup at the front bumper, very inconspicuous, it blends right in. Moving down the side, we have nice trim panels which tie in the plastic bumpers of the vehicle. We have our outside lights which also tie into the exterior styling of the van, and our shoreline power hookup down low, which stays down low, stays in the plastic, and it kind of doesn't pop out like a lot of the fittings and hookups on that EuroVan do. Aside from all the safety features of this van, it's also jam-packed with driver's conveniences. We have blind spot assist, active cruise control, collision prevention assist, crosswind correction. We have modern Bluetooth technology and navigation systems. And these things are really just endless as far as the comfort difference between the Metris and the old EuroVan. That wraps up our comparison between the older EuroVan versus our new Metris Anacapa, and really you can see what difference 20 years of innovation and technology really makes for the way these vehicles work and operate for you. We want to give a very big shout out to our friends over at California Cars in Simi Valley for letting us borrow this VW EuroVan. If you have any needs for classic cars you want to sell or buy, please reach out to them. Interested in a Metris Anacapa of your own, please feel free to reach out to us. If you have any questions on the exact specifics of what go into that van, give us a call, shoot us an email, we're happy to help.